the Cloud Foundry ecosystem is evolving and changing. Can you talk about, because you folks also deal with the users of classic Cloud Foundry, what are some of the pain points that you see that users are facing because of the change in the industry?
Well, organizations that have invested into Cloud Foundry and that also build platforms that have technical adoption, so they're running applications on top of it, they're currently asking themselves what to do and where to go. We've been discussing this topic like for several times over the past years, and we keep on providing updates with it. Um, the interesting thing is that the story looks a bit different for each organization you talk to. For example, it's different if you have a very small organization. The number of applications is relatively low. You may have an opportunity to just move to Kubernetes. However, if you really bought into the Cloud Foundry user experience, which has very interesting upsides. For example, you can manage the security and policy with build packs much better than with container images, although there are possibilities to do that as well. If you want to preserve that CF push experience, the question is it now time to move away from classic Cloud Foundry and maybe use something that's based on Kubernetes? And our current assessment to this is we are setting up Cloud Foundry on Kubernetes internally. We are addressing internal clients before we publish anything on our public platform, and that's happening before we actually added to our anynines platform offering for on-premise clients. So we are in that first stage, and there was a lot of changes over the past years. And if you think about kubecf and then its successor project, Cloud Foundry for Kubernetes, which adopted Kubernetes much more than kubecf did, and then the new approach that's even more Kubernetes native than Cloud Foundry for Kubernetes. I think that's heading in the right direction. However, if you consider a large Cloud Foundry environment in contrast to a smaller one, and you still come to that problem where there's not a one-to-one mapping between a large Cloud Foundry environment, which may host, let's say, 10,000 applications or 5,000 applications, and a single Kubernetes cluster-based Cloud Foundry successor. We don't see that at the moment. And even if the technology is at that point, we still need time, as a community, to also build an operational practice around that new technology that's solid enough so that a migration may take place. We don't believe that this time is now. We believe we're getting there. So while we've been talking, things has been moving in the right direction. But at this point, it's still too early to migrate those large platforms. So we see our classic Cloud Foundry business still grow, and a lot of these businesses are in that situation where they're increased cost pressure, and dealing with commercial vendors, asking for license fees for their Cloud Foundry distributions is something that we usually help to solve by giving them an open source based Cloud Foundry with full remote operations and all the utilities they need, so they can save the cost right away. And then we help them to figure out a tailored platform strategy that will work for their organization over the next 5 years.